pre-season testing of 2021, not 2022, no, 2021, the good middle ground. And basically this start of the season will be just to check out which drivers are accustomed to these new cars, and just to get the right race spec going, or check reliability. Nothing too serious just yet, but the coming down of the championship win by Roman Quagg is still at large, and I think we can get going. And it looks like it's a nice. Actually, that looks like it's a nice, solid, yeah, dry weather. So teams don't get their wet weather testing going on right about now. Wait. My favorite part of the last season, probably just like the Monza race, which is just, there were so many damn crashes. It was probably like the craziest race that's, like, seriously, that set up that set up Roman Quagg's basically champion, which was a kind of an anticlimactic race in the end, but yeah, it was absolutely great. And we have to go to Roman Quagg, who, so I was absolutely incorrect about that. And look at that, the livery for Isazanov, Michael Clark, the famous meme guy. And looks like, yeah, Sahin is going to try to get his first lap out. Fuji, famous, of course, for that famous rain race in, was it 2008 or 6? No, 2007, I think, between Kubica and Massa. Whoa, that was a crazy battle. But now Sahin is gonna try, and I think easy, completely easy. Nothing to risk for in this first lap. Hits apex nicely. It's just a warm-up lap. And yeah, how have you been doing, guys? Hope you're doing actually well. My name is Renz, of course. I probably didn't introduce it early on. I've been a bit hungover, not from alcohol, just from the day. Hope you're doing just fine as me, or well, not hungover, but just fine. Looks like let's go on with Neller. It could be that. Yeah, let's go on Neller. Actually, probably the nicest guy who's ever probably lived, had some amazing runs in the main tier. Well, now every tier is like the same basically. Michael Clark, the greatest M&M's guy ever. Let's see, it's recycling through. And Sahin, I think he's about to hit the main straight to start his final lap in 3, 2, 1. Well, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Okay, there you go. And he looks like a nice and easy break towards the turn. Don't want to lock up. Tries to not hit the curb, to not get caught on the curb or on the grass. Gets a good exit there. Fuji everywhere. It's like a advertising heaven. And Sahin is going to try to go wide line to get the better entry on the inside. Going to go outside. Doesn't use much of the outside line. Looks like he doesn't want to like screech his tires completely off. Nice and easy. Nothing too dangerous. Hits apex nicely. And then we're going to go down into this part. Track. And there you go. Hits it beautifully. And the next one. A little, actually went a bit wide, coming off to the right-hand turn. That's sets up the next left bit. This is the most understeery part. I've driven on Gran Turismo many times, and I can tell you it's a oh, I can't swear, but it's a bitch. But yeah, and this, you have to get it perfect. Yeah, look at that. Sahin actually had to like wiggle out. Couldn't get the power on properly. But look, let's see. Is this a benchmark time or not? We'll see about that. We'll see how everyone else does in the get-go. Sahin goes first, obviously momentarily on provisional pole. Campana goes second. Okay, looks like it's a no. Fosbre beats it. Looks like destroys it, but there's just no way. Neller, oh, there you go. Neller with an absolutely great time, but it actually gets beaten by Newlander or whatever. Jay McKenzie's about to cross the line. Also, one of the a Renault driver who probably has some connections there. Sturt, I have no idea who he is. Joe might correct me very soon. There you go. Michael Clark goes actually only 8th. Oof, that's not a great time. Adam Wolf, I would expect a bit more from him. Michael Turvik. Oh, there you go. He goes first with an absolutely nice time. Parrish, one of the championship contenders, actually had a good long end season. Martinez goes. Oh, was that Messi? Who was that? Titkov actually, yeah, Mevzi. Oh, Mevzi, not Messi. That's not the football player. Oh wow, Hamad must have been like held up or something. Oh yeah, looked like he had a.
Shall I try the pronunciations, Rens?
Huh?
Shall I try the pronunciations, Rens? Because I'm here.
I see. Yeah, I can't actually hear your voice, and I was actually waiting for your voice. So yeah, finally you can introduce yourself. So yeah, get it going.
Yes, sorry about that. I was busy eating. Don't ask what I had.
No, it's okay.
I was just eating. But yes, I am here. Hello, I am Joe. I am here, Dennis. I haven't been shot. Don't worry. But yes, we are here for pre-season testing here at Fuji as Mackenzie goes into 8th position. What have you covered so far since I've been doing whatever?
No, I've been taking up some time. You usually have a big brain about this series. You are a complete walking encyclopedia. So basically, you can actually just inform most of the new reviewers about these new drivers, about how they fought to be in this DTM tier that I was originally champion of. So can you like flesh out this series a bit more?
So you haven't been through the driver lineups, I presume, then?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay, so we'll go through the driver lineup then. Why not? I will also go through the calendar as well. But first of all, how are you doing, Rens? Of course, a former DTM champion, for anybody wondering.
I've already introduced myself to many people there and hoped for a good evening. Actually, I hope you're having a professional evening without any damn bugs flying around your goddamn ear all the time and
I think I'm alright. Anyway, shall we get on with the driver lineup then, shall we, without wasting any time? Let's go through it then. So we'll start off with the BMW section of the teams here in DTM. So the first BMW team is Bmw Team Rbm, of course, the team that Roman Quarg won the title with last season. But of course, as we know now, Roman Quarg has gone back to the top class. So who is driving for the Rbm team this season? Well, in the lineup, you saw him earlier on, we have Jay McKenzie in the team, who has moved away from Mercedes after 2 seasons as Michael Clark goes to the top of the timing sheets. And, well, I'll pretty much put it this way. Jay McKenzie said, and I quote right, he just wanted to be in anything that wasn't a Mercedes, basically. So, at least he got his wish on that one. His teammate, though, is a DTM regular, and the man who's got the most victories in DTM, that being Victor Ibobo. I think you've raced him before as well, Rens, because he's obviously been in DTM.
Yes, I've seen a lot of his actions on track, and I think the marshals have probably retired their job. They never volunteered after seeing Victor Ibobo on track. So, yeah.
Yes, indeed. So that's the lineup for Bmw Team Rbm. The next Bmw team is Bmw Team Rmg. They've got an all-Polish lineup for this season in the form of Daniel Adventure, who remains with the team for another season, and of course he's the current Red Bull test driver, but he's got a new teammate in the form of fellow Polish driver Kai Seresnia, who returns to the GP4 OC community for the first time since, I want to say, 2019, I think, or 2018, one of the 2 seasons, but he is back, and he'll be looking to have a good season in DTM. Next up is Bmw Team RMR. They have 2 drivers who came from the now-defunct BTCC series, that being Kaio Moratelli and James Sturt, of course. Speaking of which, here is Sturt on the screen right now. He's coming into the pits this lap. Both of them looking to have a very good first season in DTM and looking to make an impression. The final BMW team...
Kaio Moratelli is actually the only Brazilian in this tier.
Yes, he is indeed. And next up, we have Bmw Team RRR, or Triple R, as some people like to quote it as. It's a bit of a meme team, to be honest with you, in the OC community. But their lineup consists of Mohammed Husband Hamid, who moves over after a disappointing GP2 season last season. And once again, they retain Maxim Titkov for another season, who is still determined to get back into the top class. Will this season be the season? Who knows, really. But that's the BMW lot sorted out. And next up, we go over to Mercedes, and we start off with Mercedes AMG Motorsport, and their lineup is quite an exciting lineup, to be fair. They have Halil Shahin, who's back for another season in DTM, and he is joined by 2018 DTM champion Rosetta Martinez, who returns to the series for the first time since, well, when he won the title back in 2018, of course. And after a difficult season in 2020, he's looking to redeem himself here in DTM. Could he potentially be the second ever double DTM champion? Of course, the only double champion in DTM, of course, going to Azul Zafri. So who knows really if Rosetta can do that.
I do hope that he's not. Just so it doesn't become like a monopoly.
Yes, indeed. Next up, we have Mercedes AMG Motorsport Petronas, of course affiliated with the F1 team in a way because of the Petronas sponsorship. Their lineup consists of Will Neller, who remains with the team for another season, but he's got a new teammate as a result of Florian Volker moving over to World Champ Car. It is Michael Clark who moves over from Formula E, and he'll be looking to have a very good season. He's been desperate to get into DTM for quite a while, so he's now finally broke through, and he's hoping to have a very good season. And so far, he's having a pretty good test at the moment, being up at the top of the timing sheets.
Yeah, I gotta say, Clark may not know how to type, but he knows how to get results. If he just puts his mind to it, that's where he needs to put his mind to it. Other than that, just keep him just behind the wheel. That's it. That's all I can say.
Yes, indeed. So, anyway, next up we have Mercedes AMG Motorsport Remus now then. And I do believe they kept the same lineup from last season, which is Jared Fosbre and Rifki Fakrazin. Rifki Fakrazin, of course, who's on the screen right now, missed out on the championship last season, still determined to win in every series that is available in the OC. And after coming so close to win the DTM title on 2 occasions, I believe he is determined to actually try and get it done this time by, as I need to have a gulp there. But anyway, as next up, we have the team that I struggle to pronounce sometimes, and I think Florian will point a gun in my head if I pronounce this wrong. It is the Mercedes AMG Motorsport Cyberfield. That's my best pronunciation of German there. So
yeah,
you
have a better understanding of how to say it. My tongue would be twisting around, and I would never be able to talk again. So thank you for actually saying that for everyone else.
It's Silberpfeil.
Right, that. That then. So anyway, their lineup, quite an interesting lineup. They've got Lean Compana, who is looking to bounce back after finishing middle of the road last season, and he's got a new teammate in the form of 2020 BTCC champion, who's on the screen right now, Andrei Sazonov. He'll be looking to have a very good season in DTM. For a moment, we thought he wasn't going to be on the grid in 2021 because he was a bit late to sign up, but eventually he got there in the end, and he's in DTM and looking to make an impression in his first ever season in DTM. Who knows? Could he actually get back-to-back titles in the OC? Who knows?
No, I gotta say, it's a competition. The level of competition, I think, is just rising every season. It always does. When you've been in that series for so long, you know the ins and outs. Even if you're champion, you're under threat. You're under threat at every single moment. You're under threat, like every time you breathe. Basically, you have to watch out for these little challenges ahead.
Indeed. So, we've done Mercedes, we've done BMW. It's about time we look to Audi next. So Audi, they've only got 3 teams unlike the other 2, so let's go on with it. Audi Sport Team Out Sportsline to start off with. They have Will Parrish in the team. Will Parrish, I believe, staying at the team for another season after coming close to winning the title last season, and he'll be hoping that he can once again compete for the title this season. But he's got a new teammate in the form of Adam Wolf, who's moved over to the App Sportsline team. And Adam Wolf, he's been in DTM for a while now, but for whatever reason,
I gotta say, he can probably go to any tier and just do very well if he wanted to. Really, I gotta say, even if in F1 he can go to anywhere, and he's always seems like one of those drivers that can get the best results at any tier. Probably not record wise, but I always just feel like he's the driver to actually sometimes beat. I think he's a reliable one.
Yeah, definitely. And but the problem is he's never won the DTM title. Could this season be the season for him? Who knows, really. Next up, we have Audi Sport Team Phoenix, and they've got, just like with the BMW team, the BMW Team RMR team, they've got an all BTCC lineup, and they consist of the driver pairing who actually partnered last season in BTCC for Volvo. That being the guy who's on screen right now, Miran FG, and his teammate once again is Bella Neuville, just like last season at Volvo. Bella, of course, finished runner-up in the BTCC Championship last season, and she will be looking to hopefully have a good season in BTCC, same like Andrea Sazonov as well. So the top two in BTCC looking to make an impression. And the final team we will look at is Audi Sport Team Rosberg, of course. Yes, it is, I believe, Keke Rosberg's team, if I'm not mistaken, or Nico's team.
I don't think it's Nico's. I don't think Nico would have that much of a pull. I don't know about that.
Must be his dad's then. So Keke Rosberg then. So, their lineup will consist of Xavier Wee, who moves over from Formula E after a pretty good season in that series, and his teammate is Matthias Turwick, who once again remains at the team for another season. Turwick was another driver who came close to winning the DTM title last season, and he'll be looking to go one step further this season and hopefully finally take the DTM crown, of course. Well, that is the lineup overall. Pretty exciting lineup, you'd have to say, Rand.
Yeah, I just want to see some excellent, consistent racing. I'm usually, fan of carnage. That's why I call myself radical. I start to realize I'm getting old, and I just want to actually see some good quality racing. And I gotta say, looking at the calendar, I gotta say Canada would be probably Austria, Canada. All I would like to probably go there, and actually race myself right now. I would just, I would pack the commentate basically you and Flo together and just to go race, right there because I like some speed. Also I think the Aston circuit is kind of an interesting challenge. I gotta say, you never know. I think most of the racing will start to matter. Obviously at the end of the season.
We'll have to pause you there because we have a flag.
Whoa, Wolf has actually just lost it. As I was praising him to be the most reliable driver, well, he's reliable going out and just spin a little bit there. Well, it's good that he actually recovered nicely without any kind of damage. Oh, that's like a... Don't you think?
It just looked like he just carried a little bit too much speed and just basically, just ran out of road, basically. That's all I have to say on that one. But, yeah, it looked like he just jolted the handbrake on just to make sure that it didn't go straight into the wall, probably. Who knows, really? Maybe just leave
it I gotta say, if he wanted to put the handbrake on, he would have done it better on the grass rather than on tarmac. Let's actually see Clark's lap. Is he actually improving any more? Can he, stretch out any kind of more time out of the supposed benchmark time he already have in the first 17 minutes? Let's see his first sector going nice and with some good speed. Now it's only 2/10, probably doing some long runs.
You mentioned that you was old, Renz. How old are you again?
I'm 23.
I'm a year older than you, so that makes me old as well.
So you can take me to, you can take me to kindergarten anytime, and I'll just put a pacifier in my mouth. But let's see. Clark actually showing some solid that I'm not gonna be messed with. Even though a lot of people mess with him a few times. Let's see who's on Packers and is in the pits. Let's probably go to Turvik. Yeah, let's go with Turvik's. Turvik's on board. Of course the former championship contender, and he's on an out. Yeah, he's actually on an out lap, trying to get the feel for the track, trying to, kind of understand the car itself. And I always think about why do drivers just not go for the light fuel strategies and all that, because remember, every year the car can change. You can get the most out of any strategy. So they're just all when we see them mess up their strategy with heavy or light fuel. No, just go and just test out what you know, and what will get you the minimum, the less like basically just go for the less race time like in total than you can have like pit stops. You don't want to pit too much at a track where there's just basically a lot of straights. So that's like Fuji has a lot of like like slow corners, not even like medium speed corners. A lot of just where you're breaking unders. I actually wouldn't go if we were racing right now. I wouldn't go for any kind of 100 liters or whatever. I wouldn't go for that. Would you?
Who knows? It kind of depends what sort of runs you're doing, really. What your programs are really like with any testing or practice session. I just noticed something really. How far behind is the stream compared to what we're looking at right now? It's quite far behind, I've noticed. Bit of an interesting one there. I don't know if there's a setting that Flo's done there by mistake. I'm not sure. But anyway, anyway, we talked about the driver lineup a little bit earlier on. We might as well go through the calendar whilst we're at it then. You mentioned a couple of tracks on there already, but we might as well go through the full thing. Now, for pre-season testing, of course, today we're at, for pre-season testing, we're at two completely new venues for pre-season testing. Well, one of them's not really new, but it's new for pre-season testing. One of them, of course, is Fuji Speedway. I think the first time that DTM has tried to do a track outside of Europe/America, really. Can't recall if they've ever been to Asia before or not, but I know for a fact that, of course, Flo mentioned, let's not forget, during the discussion stream, for anybody who didn't watch it, of course, that, of course, there's a potential that this series could become a GT series in the future, and he has mentioned the possibility of potentially having the calendar go to Asian tracks in the future, so who knows, really. Maybe this is like a trial that's going on here for Fuji Speedway, but we're here today, yes. And then tomorrow...
I gotta say, like, now racing's getting a little bit more popular. You want to expand. You want to get, obviously you want to get more fans. You want to get more eyes on the sport. Like, get the pit. Basically, just get like a globe, just pit stop around the globe. Basically, just to expose. Basically, just get yourself, the series known. You don't want to ever like fall behind. That's like Formula E has like multiple, races at that same location, but they don't go around too much really to around the globe. They just have the same races in the same it's kind of gets repetitive. So you want to like really variety is like the best option, I think.
Yeah, indeed. So who knows really what the future holds for this series, at least anyway, but of course, tomorrow we will be at the Nurburgring, of course. Now, of course, the Nurburgring is not on the calendar, of course, because of what happened last season at DTM. Something that Flo, I don't think, wants to bring back up into his memory banks. But, of course, it was a bit of a disaster last season, so much so that it ended up becoming a non-championship race, and in turn got removed from the DTM calendar after so many issues with the chicane. So, that's why it's no longer on the DTM calendar. So the 14 race calendar looks like this. Of course, the opening race, which I'm going to presume is next week, I'm pretty sure Flo will clarify that. The first race will be at the newer layout of Hockenheim, as per usual, before we head off to the Red Bull Ring in Austria, moving forwards from its original slot from last season. Then round 3 will take place at Mugello in Italy. Second time that DTM will be going there for a race. And then round 4 is a brand new venue. Well, I say it's a brand new venue, it's got a bit of an asterisk next to its name, mainly because Flo needs to do some testing with it. But round 4 is going to be a brand new venue for DTM, which is Dijon-Prenot in France, of course. And we're very interested to see how the DTM drivers cope around Dijon, of course, providing that the track works, of course. But yeah, that's going to be round 4. Round 5 will be at Silverstone, the British round of the series, of course, before heading off to a circuit that hasn't been on the DTM calendar for quite a long time. 2010 was the last time that it was on the calendar, that being Assen in the Netherlands, of course. Round 6 taking place at Assen. That's the race that has replaced the Nurburgring, of course. Round 7 will be at Euro Speedway before heading off to Aragon in round 8. Now, if you cast your minds back to last season, of course, you may remember that Flo did say that he was going to originally remove Aragon. However, he's going to give the track one more chance this season to prove itself. If it doesn't work out, then I can't see why it would. I think he might as well just remove it. So we'll have to see, really, if it works this time round or not. And then round 9 will be at Portimao at Portugal, a lot later than what it was last season, because if I remember correctly, last season it was actually round 2 of the championship, but for this season it will be round 9. Round 10 will take place at Montreal in Canada, because for DTM, Canada seems to work well, unlike the top class. Round 11 will take place at COTA in the United States, followed by a second trip to Hockenheim, but this time for the old layout, as per usual, before we head off to Spa-Francorchamps for the penultimate race of the season, and the finale, as per usual, will take place at Monza. So, you mentioned earlier on, Renz, you're looking forward to some tracks that are on the calendar. Any more that pop into your head?
Yeah, I gotta say, when you listed those last 4 Circuit of the Americas, I gotta say, almost a lot of, I don't want to give the image, but like some vomit came in my mouth after hearing that track, so, you know, that's I don't like that. I think Silverstone, come on, like, that's probably the best, you know, the best track. Mugello, oh my god, the sunny, these cars just shining, just going through those, you know, just going through those, like, fast and right hand, you know, left-handers. Sorry if I messed up. It just going downhill and just going through that main straight, and just again just breaking downhill, because that's, remember, it's a quite a tricky track, really. And I gotta say, most drivers will try to cheese the track limits, you know, a little bit there. As we've seen in the other multiverse, or whatever we want to call it. Mugello has been, I've been actually driving around in my, you know, sim racing. It's an absolutely great track. Tricky, lots. Well, there's a lot of blind corners, but if you just like go with the flow, basically, it'll probably be a really good track. I don't know about overtaking though. That's one thing I'm not sure of about with these cars. I don't think there's going to be any kind of overtaking being really done other than on a main straight.
Oh, you say that, but there was actually plenty of overtakes last season, if I'm not mistaken. In
DTM. Okay. I got to say, it's a new addition. I've been out a little bit. I've not seen the Mugello track being performed on GP4, but I just, you know, our knowledge, I just know it's like.
The topic of Mugello, it also produced quite a lot of overtaking for GP2 as well in 2019, so it could provide some exciting racing as well. But we'll have to wait and see, of course. Whilst we were speaking, Turwick has actually now gone to the top of the timing sheets with a 1:20.637. He's actually now gone quicker than Clark by 26 thousandths of a second, as Clark, speaking of which, will be coming back into the pits whilst he overtakes Lean Campana there.
Yeah, look at that. Clark is actually like battling a lot of these drivers, just like he's just really trying to make his... I didn't really want to encourage him, but he's actually like heard my voice and just like, okay, now I have to do this honor for Renz, or just to like battle with the driver. He's like messing up everyone else's like times. I do wonder, like, how are they gonna time the slipstream for the last straight, because if you can time the slipstream properly, if you can gain like about, let's say, 2/10. So I gotta say, if Clark catches up to the next car ahead of him, which is Flo, you need to change.
Jay McKenzie.
Yeah, I gotta say, Clark could probably, he's green. Now he's completely slow. But if he could have caught up to McKenzie, I think he could have set a good lap, probably in like a 20 point.
Going into the pits, Ren, so there's no real point talking about that. But anyway, as Ibobo went up into 5th there, a little bit earlier on, we saw Sturt go up into 5th position just before Ibobo did, as now Clark does come into the pits. And why have you called it that, Flo, by the way? Down the bottom of the screen. Sure, Yuri has told you about this in the past, but anyway, that's a bit of an interesting sector there for Fosbre. Equal with Turwick, so this is going to be an improvement for Fosbre. Let's see what he can do as he now comes down the pit straight and across the line. He will now go. Can he go quicker than Turwick? Across the line he will go, and no, he only goes 4th with that.
Yeah, look at the top 4 separate. Yes, the top 4 are within a 10th of each other, so we might get a top 5 unless Turwick or someone else just gets a blasting completely the times, basically. What else is there? Campana's just trying to set a lap, being a little impeded, but it's how it goes. They're just getting their aggression out early on, so I think actually Campana looks like, I gotta say, Campana could have probably gotten a good lap, but that's how it is sometimes. Mackenzie actually didn't like completely impede the Clark, but Sahin goes. Yeah, okay, he's not within the top 5. Within 10th of the top 5. It's only like 10th and a half off. Campana impeded. He sets nothing basically, but Mustamahad gets 16th.
So at the moment, then Turwick currently at the top by 26 fans of a second. Of course, Turwick, if you remember, I don't know if you remember, of course, Renz, but a few seasons ago, he was known as a bit of a qualifying master. Was on pole for most times during the course of, I think it was the 2018
Did he
season.
set a record?
No, it was 2017 season. Now that I remember, I think he might have done actually. I might be wrong on that, but yeah, he was a bit of a qualifying master in 2017. Hasn't been able to recapture that since, but so far still showing some good pace out there. As whoa, FG getting a little bit squirrely there going into the last corner.
Yeah, he actually completely caught the perfect amount of counter steer there. If he counter steered a bit more, the car would just wear it off, and actually in the safer space, and then it would have been the other way around. So good job by Metzi.
Yes, indeed. So that really is his game's crashed. It seems.
Oh
so,
well. Okay. So that goes on Metzi's tab, I guess. We're crashing the game.
So we thought that this had actually been fixed, of course, because Flo obviously moved it to a. Did he move it to a new folder? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. It's it sucks sometimes, but to keep on like topic, like I gotta say, it just has the top speed of these new cars has it improved, or will it improve? During this.
So we get to see if we can get the file back for practice, and we should get back underway for this one. So talking about DTM, Evan, not the top class. I know you were joking there, but
I know, but that was a question for you. Do you think like it has the top speed like improved, or will it improve like throughout the season? Because remember, we have like a new track called the Dijon track. So people they don't want to like risk everything, the costs, the reliability throughout the season. Do you think are they really pushing the maximum right? Early on in the season, or have they are they going to save during the second part of the season?
Who knows really? Because as we know, DTM has got this reputation of being quite close, of course, and it seems like from race to race, it always seems to have a different pecking order. Whether that will be the case this season, I would imagine so, because not really much has changed with the performance. So yeah, so who knows really? But anyway, as Clark now then goes around the section of corners, Alden, is he will now make his way towards...
We're seeing the replay, the replay. So that's the problem. So he's gonna pit. Or no, he's not gonna pit yet. I think this is the replay, isn't it?
I think because we're at 35, because it crashed at 31 minutes, didn't it? This is just going through the next few minutes. But of course, it is the same seed, so it's not going to be too much of an issue, I don't think. So
no, I mean it's not like Tenet. We're not gonna see the whole thing unfolding backwards. So that's good for the commentators. This commentating booth is getting a little bit too cookie, I gotta say. It's a nice evening, seeing the cars just go by. Seeing them at their, not that their full potential, but like this is like brand new out of the factory, when you get a new car, you get that new smell. So basically these drivers are probably more focused on the smell of the car, probably like just enjoy. Oh shit, these are the cars we're gonna get at their peak, rather than later on in the season. So it just Fuckersan actually just spun there, so we actually didn't go in the previous seed. We didn't see that.
Unless it was because there was no yellow flags there, so I don't know really. Maybe it was unseen by the camera. Was there a yellow flag there? Because I was actually reading the chat really, because somebody brought brought up a question. I'm not sure. There was a yellow flag actually, so maybe because it is a different seed, I don't know. But at least the order is the same, and it looks like Kaya Moratelli had something to say about that because he just punted the side of him just there. So yeah, so not great there for Ricky Fakhrizadeh, it's fair to say, being punted around like that. And I don't think he's going to be too happy about that at all. Probably we'll have some words with Kaio a little bit later on in the one. Well, probably after the session comes to a close, of course. As we now look at Bellanueva going into the pits, as things start to catch up now, because Shahin has got up into 7th position, getting in front of Bellanueva. As we look back at Fakhrizadeh, who of course his lap has been compromised as a result of being taken out by Kaio Moratelli. But somebody just asked in the stream chat, that being Adam Wolf, he said, "Has any other driver driven for all 3 DTM manufacturers before?" That's a very good question.
That is a good question. I gotta say, you come on, you have to search it up. You have to search up a driver's profile, probably just like pick it out of like a bingo card. I don't. No, I think so, right? That has to happen by right.
I would imagine it's happened. You would have to imagine it's happened at some point. I think Ibobo has. I think Ibobo is driven for all 3 manufacturers at some point. Of course, I think Wolf has brought this up because I think he's done that this season, of course, with him driving in an Audi. Has anybody else other than Ibobo and Wolf done it before? I'm trying to think.
I don't know. I have no clue. Maybe we have someone in the chat who can correct Adam Wolf immediately. Oh, Campana's crashed out, so this seat is got a little bit different actually. So I don't remember seeing this. So Campana is the first one out of the testing session. I don't think that I gotta say that. Oh, there he hits Clark. See, what did I tell you, Clark? Clark is just like messing up everyone's session here, and it turns out Campana got the short end of the stick there, and he's out of session. The right rear completely gone, smashed to bits and into Narnia, and of course the marshal, running away because apparently the car can move by itself. Let's see.
Grand Prix 4 for you. Well, I'm not sure if Flo has put the spare cars ban on this one, but I'm not 100% sure if he's done that. But if he hasn't, then I'm pretty sure he'll get out in the T car. I don't think he's been very specific on that, really, because I know he's been working on the spare car ban for quite a while, it seems. But I don't know if he's implemented that for DTM or not. So we'll have to see on that if Campana does come back out on track or not. But anyway, back to the action after that crash, because it seemed that what happened there was, of course, Campana just went for a dive bomb on Clark, and then somebody just collected him from behind there. So that really? Why have we paused, Flo?
No, I gotta say, is this a tell? Could this be a tell what's coming to the next season? Are drivers really just wanting to get their vigor out right now, so they can just say, you know me, I know you, don't mess with me. That's all. I think that's like a message.
I don't know. Who knows really? But as we just seen some cars coming out, we just saw there in the garage. Campana is actually in the garage there, so it does look like there isn't a spare cars ban for this one. I don't think. So yeah, it seems like he'll be getting back out there in the spare car. Just a little bit. So luckily, I don't think he had that far to walk. Maybe he got a lift back to the pits. Who knows? But anyway, we've got just over 30 minutes left, and we've still got Turwick at the top by 26 thousandths of a second. The top 3, in fact, only separated by 68 thousandths of a second. I don't think it's going to be too much of a surprise. It is quite close at the top of the timing sheets because DTM is usually quite close. With that one, I think usually the track that we normally go to, that's usually quite the closest for DTM, I think is Monza, if I'm not mistaken. I think usually the drivers get within 4/10 of each other in that, which I think is just ridiculously close. But yeah, it will be interesting to see, really. Of course, even though we are now in the fantasy era of the OC, of course, not much has changed for DTM compared to last season, of course. But of course, Flo has said that there may be changes for this series in the future. We'll have to wait and see on that, of course. One thing though that has changed is, of course, the stream quality with the series is that Flo is going to be hosting. Of course, I think he started to trial this, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, in the Classic OC. You may have noted that the graphics are a little bit more brighter than what they were last season, and I think that's because Flo has managed to figure out some things with the graphics settings. I'm not sure, but that's why you normally see when we get onto the loading screen, things just starting to get a little bit brighter, like the sun has decided to explode or something like that. But yeah, Flo has also said to us just ignore the loading screen with that for every race because it is a bit of a pain. But it's only because his graphics settings are just sorting itself out, so to speak. So yeah, that's pretty much that, really. Of course, one thing that Flo did mention as well is that not all of the cars have their liveries updated, really. And what we mean by that is have the correct numbers on the car and also their names on the car as well. And so, but yeah, so they will hopefully get done either tomorrow or before Hockenheim, of course. Now, for clarity, is Hockenheim on next week, Flo, or are we waiting another 2 weeks for that one?
It will be on next week, yes.
Okay, so the first race will be on next week. So to clarify that one.
So yeah,
anyway.
so half an hour has been like gone, and the track evolution is like not working for many drivers here. They're not going any faster. Like maybe they have the temps dropped. Have they told like to cool it, go on different engine modes, save the tires, like test those on to actually get the best amount of the wear throughout the season. What do you think?
Knows really. I think it's a little bit hard to tell really, if I'm being totally honest with you, Rens, but knows really. But we've just seen, you can see on the left-hand side of the timing tower, somebody's got the checkered flag next to their name, that being Ricky Fakwazane. Of course, as you know, with Grand Prix 4, the drivers have a limit on how many laps they can have, basically, and it seems that Fakwazane has reached his limit. So the next time he comes back into the pits, that will be his session done with. He's so far the only one to get the checkered flag next to his name. I wonder if anybody else will get the checkered flag next to their name.
I saw Clark. Maybe he's going to be the second driver. Well, it's a second driver who's going to complete all his laps. I could be wrong, but I don't think that is currently the biggest issue facing. That's a thing. When I mentioned about like rain and weather, these cars obviously need to be tested on. We can't. There's no sprinklers. We can't like wet the track for them basically. So the drivers just have to like hope to get some good extra wet running on on Nurburgring. Because it does rain a hell of a lot there, so drivers just have to go on around in a circle and pray for rain.
See, of course, we'll have to see what the weather is like tomorrow at the Nurburgring. Who knows it? I mean, for this one, we only had the. Oh my! We've got a pit lane entrance glitch here. The form of Hamid and
Who
Parish.
is that? Is that Clark? Is that Clark again?
Oh, it's Parish. It's Parish. Parish and Hamid that's had a bit of an accident.
No,
there.
that's Parish. Parish and Muhammad. That's not the wrong blue car. It's not Clark. And that is just weird. I gotta say, we have to look back. What caused the incident? Was it like a mistimed judgment in going into the pits, or was it just complete miscommunication?
Probably that, to be honest with you, because I think Parish was going to be coming into.
Oh, well, that's I gotta say that's not even miscommunication. That is just Parish not looking at his mirrors.
I don't think he was aware that he was there, to be quite honest with you, and both of them have ended up with damage. So yeah, Parish has got the checkered flag next to his name, so that's pretty much ended his session abruptly there. It's safe to say. So as Hamid is waiting for the marshals to dispose of his car in the pit lane before, otherwise he may cause a bit of a traffic jam. I think if this was real life, they'd obviously close the pit lane off, but of course this is Grand Prix 4, so.
No, they would have the flag of the session.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed. So big accident there in the pit lane entrance, it's fair to say. As meantime, we look at Jared Fosbre, who's coming back into the pits this lap. Wolf has just come into the pits himself. Fosbre, where is he at the moment? As we were talking there, Fosbre is currently fourth at the moment. He's actually doing a pretty good job. I think it's safe to say, though, towards the end of last season, Fosbre had a pretty strong end to the season in 2020, and he'll be looking to build on that this season.
So Joe has some connection issues. We've seen a lot of drivers just battle around.
No, I don't.
No, I hear you cutting in and out, so I don't know what's happening. But yeah, so drivers just got completely trying to battle. I do want to like probably just warn I would like warn as race controller, just ease off, just calm these guys down and just say leave this, for when if you're gonna be out for blood, do it in the actual race that matters. That gives you points. That gives just gives basically money for that team and gains you fame, like wins and ladies and champagne and a lot of other things.
I won't say the second one, Renz. We are in 2022 at the end of the day. Anyway, as we now look at Xavier Wee, who's just coming around the final corner as they now make their way down the straight. And let's see what Wee is able to do now. Then Wee is currently in 12th position, it's safe to say. Only achieved one win in the OC so far, that coming in Formula E. Had a brilliant season last season, as I mentioned, and so far having a decent session, it's fair to say, Renz.
I actually, I'm disappointed by my old teammate Feckers, and I would have wanted him to be up a little bit higher, and who has really maintained the like the championship contender, basically who has maintained their status at Turvik, Parrish, Fosbre, and Sahin, and also probably Ibobo. I gotta say they have maintained their status, quite nicely here. It's those little things. Remember, it is those little things as you see on the top of the leaderboard. That's how much it can separate at the end, at the end of the season, really.
It's indeed, and as meantime we've got some side-by-side action going through the bus-stop chicane there. At least they kept that one pretty tidy. As Neuville is gone up into 8th position, and we're getting a little bit more checkered flags, as you can see on the left-hand side. Turret's got a checkered flag. Parrish, as we saw earlier, has a checkered flag. Fosbury's got the checkered flag. FG's got the checkered flag. Neuville checkered flag. Adventure checkered flag. Fakrazane checkered flag, and Wolf checkered flag as well. So some drivers finishing off quite early. Who knows if any more will follow suit? They probably will very soon, and who knows? Maybe the session will finish earlier than expected. Adventure again fighting with one of the Audis there. Not sure which Audi that is. As Sazonov is currently up on his personal best. That being Xavier Wee, of course. Who knows really what Adventure is doing there? Probably just practicing some slipstreaming really in this session. I mean, you've got a big long straight down here, so a pretty easy track to do some slipstreaming. So that's that really. As we now look at Will Neller, who comes down the pit straight. Across the line he will go, does not improve. And Neller, it's safe to say, last season...
Yeah, that's his final lap. So he completes... I have to look at which team he is in. So
Patronus Mercedes team.
He's in the Mercedes AMG Patronus. So that's exactly where he is. So he finishes off his day. I gotta say, quite mid-table. They're not trying to completely push, but I gotta say, are some drivers worried about their pace? Like seriously, is this the best they could, they do? But also, are some too comfortable? Don't you think?
I wouldn't say worried about their pace because, as you can see from the pecking order, it is pretty close. Apart from Moratelli, first to 21st, they're all separated by just under 6 tenths, so it's pretty close there as Adventure goes up into 9th position. I wouldn't say they'd be worried. I think tomorrow when we're at the Nurburgring, you should see potentially some changes in the pecking order, but how much of it you'll have to... Who knows, really. But, yeah, I wouldn't say they'd be worried at this stage, friends, if I'm being totally honest.
Well, yeah, after my early predictions are still not really... I'm not going to make any early predictions. We shouldn't base this off yet. But actually Neller went 6th. Look at that. Actually, he completed one more lap that I missed.
Yeah, but
go 6th place. Good job by him. So
it's actually set at the same time as James Sturt, in fact. So both of them set in an identical time there. And of course, as mentioned earlier, even if they've got a checkered flag next to their names, they still may have a few laps left, of course, before they finish.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. That's actually that is good to note, actually. So thanks for that.
Once they come back into the pits, of course, that will be their session done with. So
I see. The new guy Sturt. Let's see what he does. Is he gonna go in? Right. I can't really tell. Okay, no, he's gonna complete a lap. Let's see what he does. Straight line split, wing low. Is he gonna go crack the top? No, doesn't crack the top 10 at all. He cracks probably a few bones in his skull after after missing out on top 10. But now it's a bit too violent.
Currently P5 at the moment, so he is already in the top 10. So he's in fact the guy who set the same time that Nello set the same time to.
Yeah. I couldn't see that.
Fifth position. So
I gotta say, I have to get used to these acronyms now. How they look. I have to get used to that. So I don't need glasses just yet. So don't go. I'm not gonna go to Specsavers. Sahin is about to complete his. Is he? No, doesn't.
She wasn't aware there was a Specsavers outside the UK, so that's a new one for me.
No, there is. There's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot of things I would probably tell people to go, but I can't tell it on stream because they start with F and probably U. So I don't. I don't want to do that. Victor Ibobo. He's actually the one driver who has not caused an incident.
I think he's one of few drivers to have not caused an incident. Yeah, to be fair.
But remember, reputation, like it always precedes you. It's you will be known as something if you did something before.
Well, as mentioned, he obviously is the only driver on the DTM grid that has been on the DTM grid every single season, competed in every single DTM race, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And for some reason, even though despite the fact he's been in DTM for pretty much every season, he's still yet to win the DTM title. Of course, he's come close on a couple of occasions, but he's never been able to reach that brass ring, so to speak. And we know that he is determined to try and get back in the top class in the future, but so far it hasn't gone to plan. Particularly the one season when he was in championship contention, he for some reason didn't sign up for the top class. It's been a bit of a strange pattern with Victor when it comes to his top class sign-ups. As Flo's just clarified, he had 4 title opportunities in total. Could he potentially have a 5th title opportunity this season?
I have to get cut in here with the sign-ups. I gotta say, sometimes I get it why people don't really. You got to research you got to research a lot, because no one it's not like getting an agent to do your research for you. You got to do it by your own, basically. You gotta watch every single championship, basically, just to get the best available option, because we've seen in the past how people just have stolen seats, like it's like some WWE kind of return or whatever. It's like, oh wow, it's a big pop. It's just like if Turvik landed an F1 seat maybe next season. Who knows what could actually happen?
Who knows? But it will be interesting to see. I mean, obviously, Ibobo was when he was last in the top class, which was back in 2009. He was known for being a bit of a meme back then, but whether he would be like.
Oh, I've got to say, I thought that meme died, but no, it hasn't. It's living on, and
it pops up every now and then. But it's not. I don't think it's as talked about as it has been in past seasons. But I think it still gets brought up every now and then about when we had the old injury system. Of course, for those of you who don't know, we obviously have the injury system back in the top class now, but obviously tweaked in a way that it's not going to be too. What's the word I'm looking for? A bit too to the point where it's not too chaotic, so to speak. So and hopefully not as silly as it was back in the day. God, me saying back in the day like it's old. Jesus Christ. Anyway, as Victor Ibobo now then makes his way through, speaking of which, comes around into the final corner, currently down on his personal best. Just looking on the timing screen, Ibobo has the checkered flag next to his name, so I wonder, is this going to be his final lap, or will he be doing a couple of more laps before he finishes off his session across the line, and he'll be doing another lap, but he was down on his personal best in the end, and he will continue pelting around to get as much data as he can for his team. And who knows, really, could this be the year where Bobo can finally get the DTM title? Who knows, really?
Remember when I said how close it is? I gotta say, I don't see it as Victor Bobo's year. He has a lot of he's been there for many seasons, but now people are piling up their own, DTM seasons also. So it's kind of like where could he actually? Yeah, actually that's a good question. Where can he find the advantage?
Who knows? I mean, he seems to. I've noticed every season, if we're talking about the tracks that he may be strong at, I've noticed like every season he seems to be very strong at Monza, which happens to be the final race of the season. That's when he usually shows up. But I mean, the odd occasions he may struggle around there, but I think most times he's actually been pretty strong around Monza. So I would say that's probably his best strength, really. In terms of wheat track, I don't know really. I don't think I could really point one out that I think could be his weakest track. Wasn't really sure. I wonder if he's got an opinion on that one himself. I don't know. But anyway,
we'll probably get his intuitive like at a random point of the season. Probably. I just vaguely remember him like when I was into this things. I remember him like popping up out of nowhere, and everybody's like going crazy in the chats like Ibobo or whatever, and I didn't understand the hype between there. Actually, the drivers are now like at their cooling station. Now they're gathering all their data. Now they're just looking at how this car performs, meeting with the race engineers, and you're like checking where what could we use on this track where we're gonna need it at the next.
Well, I was going to say that the session is over, but if I'm not mistaken, there are still two guys who have got pit indicators next to them, and it looks like they're still in the pit lane at the moment. So I don't know if the session is actually over or not.
No,
I know
the session is over because Campana and Hamid crashed.
So there is the spare car ban. Okay.
Yes.
So, well, I was asking that question and nobody answered me. That's why I got a little bit confused.
Oh, sorry. I didn't listen.
It's all right. But okay, so it is the end of the session.
It's okay, Flu. It's okay, Flu. It's okay.
Okay, so that is the end of the session then.
That is the end of the session. Yeah, that's the times that were set early on. That's as you saw them like 40 minutes ago. Well, there you are.
So here is our leaderboard then. Turwick finishes at the top with Clark in second, Parrish in third, followed by Fosbre in fourth, Sturt in fifth, then it is Nella sixth, FG in seventh, with Shaheen in eighth, Newerville in ninth, Adventure in 10th, Ibobo 11th, Wee in 12th, then it's Martinez in 13th, Titkoff 14th, Mackenzie 15th, Campana in 16th, with Sereznia in 17th, Akwazin in 18th, Sazanov 19th, Hamid in 20th, with Wolf in 21st, and Moratelli in 22nd position. 7 attempts covering the pack in the end of it. Could we see Fuji potentially on the DTM calendar in the future? Of course, if Flo does decide.
I'm all for it. I am all for it. I gotta say, this has been a good test run, good test run and a test run. So it's like an inside thing we're talking about right now that no one probably will get. I do want to see this track a little bit more often. It does feel like it's a bit outdated.
Potentially, I think it might have something to do with the sponsorship boards. I'm not sure, but anyway, that has been it then for day one of pre-season testing for DTM. Of course, a pretty interesting session. It's fair to say. Could we see Fuji in the future if the series decides to expand to Asia? Who knows, really. But anyway, tomorrow, of course, which will be at the same time as 7 p.m. BST, the teams will head off to the Nurburgring for the final day of DTM pre-season testing. I will, of course, not be there for the commentary because I'm not normally available on Saturday nights. So instead, you will have who is it that's going to be alongside you tomorrow?
No, it's going to be me, and I think Rahul, Flu can try and correct me on that. And I'm gonna be trying to put all the data I gathered right here, get behind the team, behind the scenes, trying to get the best info I could possibly get and get some technical expertise on this broadcast next time around. So I gotta say it's been a pleasure talking with you, Joe. You talk flawlessly through absolutely everything we saw a lot of crashes, a lot of battles, and I gotta say I think these championship contenders from last season have realized what they're where they made a step wrong and have rejuvenated themselves to a possible to another championship contendership basically. So this has been Renz and this has been Joe. I wish you all a good adieu and very well.
Yes, see you guys tomorrow for the Nurburgring. Goodbye.